Welcome to this training session of QQEvolution. Today we're going to show you the new advancements that have been made to our word processor, QuickWord. We have added a new HTML word editor, as well as made a few improvements to our existing word processor. These improvements and this new option are available in QQEvolution version 1.6.0 or greater. It is not in versions below that. You will notice over to the left there are now little blue arrows next to QuickWord and Mailroom. That's because now there are two options to choose from when you go into these sections. If I select QuickWord, you will notice it has Rtf Editor, which is our existing word editor. We made an improvement there. Rtf simply stands for Rich Text Format, and this is the editor for that. But below that, we have the new HTML editor. This is for users who would like to create letters beyond the basics. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead first and go into our existing editor. The improvement that has been made here in our existing word processor is the spell check. You now have a type as you go spell check. I'm going to go ahead and type in something here and purposely misspell some things. You see here where I put, do you have insurance on your Ford pickup? Insurance was spelled wrong and pickup was spelled wrong. And it saw these right as I typed. And they underlined them and put them in red. If you right click, you will see suggestions for what they should be, or you can ignore it. So it's suggesting insurance, I can select it and it replaces it. Same thing here at pickup, I can replace it if I like. You can also hit over here, the spell check itself says this is complete, it checked it, and it's fine. But you can do it all at once right up here by using this button as well. Then when you go to close this, it will also run one final spell check for you. So that is an improvement made to the existing word processor. We're going to go ahead and we're going to save this. And we're going to go ahead and go back out to the dashboard. Here what we're going to do out to the dashboard is we're going to go into the new HTML editor. So let's go ahead and open it up. This warning displays telling you that if you're about to create an HTML template that is going to be used by everybody in your office, the other people in the office need to make sure that they have updated to the version of QQEvolution that has these changes as well. So everyone in the office needs to be on the 1.60 or greater if they want to be able to print an HTML letter. Because when you go to print the letter, you will see when I show you the regular letters, the RTF letters, and the HTML letters will be together. And if the person trying to print the HTML letter is not on the correct version, there would possibly be errors and a blank letter will appear. So everybody in the office, once you start creating HTML letter templates, you need to make sure they all have the new version that has this. You can then choose to don't show this message again if you do not want to see it again. We'll go ahead and close it. So here we are now in the new HTML editor. And now we can create our letter templates with the HTML. Now here we are in the new advanced option of the HTML editor for our word processor. Looks a lot different up top here than what I just showed you for our regular word processor. There's now several toolbars up here of a lot of options of different things you can do with your letters. And one of the items that you can do that will make you very excited is you can add images. And we will be showing that. I'm not going to go over everything that's here in the toolbar, but you'll notice as you hover over it, it will tell you what it is supposed to do. Okay, so here I can create a blank template if I'd like. If I click on it, it simply makes this blank and I can go on it and create my letter and then save it. This one here is where you can grab existing templates from the QQEvolution gallery. Right now we have provided you with 3 templates. We will add to them as time goes on. And you will be seeing these here in a little bit. Here's also where that you can open an existing letter. So here's all your existing letters. If you're just starting out, you'll only see the ones that are in the RTF format. But as you start adding in the ones for HTML, they will be mixed in with the RTF format. When you're on the clients, you'll see them both at the same time. Here you only see the HTML letters. And you can do your basic save as, you can delete templates, you can print, here's Spellcheck, you can do some cutting out of it. Of course, you have all the different fonts, you can bold, underline, highlight, you can insert tables if you'd like, you can insert columns if you like, you can justify the letters if you like, you can do bulleting, and there's just so many options up here. So now we're going to go ahead and go on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of our existing templates from the gallery. So I'm just going to leave it to the first one and I'm going to select it. And you'll see we tell you what to do basically. So here, insert image. Down here, insert image. And we have it telling you to get started, customize this template to create your own letter. The template tools above can be used to select, such things as font, color, insert hyperlinks, and a whole lot of other things. So you would erase these things, this text out of here and create your own. Same thing with down here at the bottom. Now at the very bottom, we have this where you can create social media links. So you can insert the icons for, say, Facebook, for Twitter, for whatever social media you're using. You can create hyperlinks to those social media icons and insert just the icon here, and then when they click on it, it'll take them to whatever your social media is that you inserted. And I'll be showing you how to do that as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of the big items here, which is how to insert an image. There are a few things here. So I'm going to click on Insert Image. And we do have some images in here. It's test images, so there'll be a lot of different just test items in here. Okay, a few things about our images. All right, up at the top here, we have our Upload New Image. So this is where you can click on it and you can select for which agency you would like the image to be attached for. The reason for this is it says up here at the top, Share Image. This means that you can share an image between your agencies if you happen to have multiple agencies. This would come in handy, especially something for maybe you are going to insert your logo at the top and all your offices use the same logo. You can share it with all of them, so then they would all see it here in the image area and they can insert it on their templates. Now, you can do 100 images. And the limit is up to 2 megabytes. So when you are sharing images, that counts against your 100 images. Okay, even if a different agency is the one that did the image and chose to share it with you, that does count against you. Okay, so if you reach that 100 image mark and you need more, what you can do is you can go through here and delete unused images or unshare yourself from images of other agencies that you are no longer using. Once an image in this list has been used on a template itself, the image cannot be deleted. Okay, it will be in here permanently because the system needs it to be able to grab it every time you generate the letter templates. So once an image has been used, it cannot be deleted, but if there are images in here that you did not use or that you are sharing with another agency and you no longer want to share, you can unshare them by this button at the top, Share, Unshare Images. Now, if you have an image in here that is shared among multiple agencies, when you unshare, it will not affect them. They will also see the images. Here's our button for Delete Current Image. So you could go ahead and you could delete an image. Okay, and we can preview the image. This would allow us to preview it. So I went ahead and clicked on it. It's going to take me up to where the image is stored at. So it opens this up and you can do all this different editing to the image if you like, and you can resize it and whatever you would like to do. You can, erase things, pick colors and erase over top of things. You can, crop things and so forth. Now, the HTML editor does use Internet Explorer to be able to print these templates out when you're on a client. So no matter what browser you're using, maybe you're using, Firefox or Chrome or something else, you still need to make sure Internet Explorer is installed on your computer. It comes on all computers, of course. Some people do remove it, so you do need to make sure you have Internet Explorer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this preview. And now let's go ahead and mention these icons up here. So what can I do with these icons? So if I select that I want to do Facebook, and we'll just go ahead and assign it to, I'll just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to select all of them. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I need to type in your Facebook URL. You need to type in the link to your Facebook page. And so what Facebook does when a person then clicks on the icon, it takes them to the login screen, and once they log in, it directs them to your page. So you need to put in your URL to your page on whatever account you have here. And I'm just going to put in facebook.com, just a nice generic one, and I'm going to add it with the link. And what I will do is I will insert this on an image in a little while so that you can see what exactly it does. So it's in the process of saving it, which it now has done with the link. Now for existing images or new images that you are adding, you have the ability to put in an image hyperlink. So I'm going to click on edit here. This one does not have one associated with it. So if the image that you're adding is up on the web somewhere, you can put in the hyperlink to that image so that it always puts it here on the letters for you when you generate them. So you can insert the hyperlinks, or you don't need to have a hyperlink. Maybe it's on your computer and you don't need one. So you can go ahead and not put in a hyperlink. I'm going to go ahead and click OK here. Let's see, now look, it's telling me it's not correct because I never did put one in. So I'm going to cancel. So you would need to cancel out of that if you actually are not, if you went in there by accident, or if you decided you didn't want to be in there, you'll need to cancel. Now when you add images in here, you can filter them by agency. So if you have permission to multiple agencies, okay, if you're in an office that has multiple locations, you still need permission to that agency to see their images. So you can select which agency to see, and you notice it limits the images that are showing here now. I can also zoom in and out of the image that I have selected to show here. So here I have the LinkedIn icon. If I want to zoom in, it's already at 100%, but I can zoom more and it makes it larger and smaller as well. Alright, so that is how you can do images. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload a new one for you. View all images, which I hadn't done yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do upload image. And it's going to go ahead and let me browse and find the image that I want to upload. Only the agencies, again, that you have permission to will even display here. So if you have multiple offices, you might only have permission to your agency, and so that is all you would see here. So I'm going to go ahead and select all and hit OK. And now it lets me browse my computer for pictures that I would like to, insert, pictures, documents, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a sample picture here from Internet Explorer, and let's do winter. I'm going to click open, and it's going to go ahead and upload the image for me. As you can see, it's a pretty large image, so I can go ahead and zoom down if I'd like here to see the whole image. That was a little too much there, wasn't it? So I can see the whole image. Now, if you by chance try to upload an image that's really big, bigger than the page of a piece of paper, the editor, what it will do when you go to insert that onto a template, it's going to resize it to make it fit the page. So then the user can right-click on the image and resize it. Okay, so you do have the ability to resize the image if you need to. Again, it is a 2 megabyte limit on the size of the image that you can upload. All right. So now that is how you can use the image section here within the HTML editor. This is only available in this advanced option. Inserting images is not available in our current word processor, the Rtf. So if you want to be able to do templates with images, make sure when you come in here, you're selecting the HTML editor. I'll walk you through this all together. So I select the area I'd like to insert it. I click on the Insert Image page. And it's going to go ahead and open up all the images, open up in the box here. And then I can go down and select whatever image. And I'll go with the image that I've been using here, winter. Here it is. Now I click on Insert Image. And now it inserts it. Looky here, it's way too big for my template. So I can resize it down to make it smaller. And I can also right click on it to do it as well. Okay, you can do the image properties here and you can make the size different. So let's go ahead and I'm going to drop it to say 100 and I'm going to hit OK. And look, it made it a little bit too small now, but it made it smaller. So you can right click or you can do it manually by using the arrows off the side. I am going to give you a tip here. If you are manually resizing an image, you don't want to do it by pulling things off to the side. Okay? Because generally what it will do is it will distort your image when you do that. You want to use the corners generally. Okay? It's up to you what you'd like to do, but that's just a little tip for you. So now I inserted an image and now it is here on the template, and whenever I generate this letter on a client, the image will appear. So now, since we have this template here, what I'm going to do is show you what HTML actually looks like. I know there's a large amount of you people out there who do actually know how to do HTML and might be making your own templates in HTML. So down here at the bottom, I have the Edit button and HTML. So if I click on it, it now displays the letter in its actual programmed format. So if you have somebody who does create these templates in HTML, they could come in here and create it itself. Or if you have one that's outside of the system, you can copy it into here, and once it's copied in, you click back on Edit, and it will just actually display it as the actual letter itself. You can also take the existing RTF letters that you have and change them to HTML if you'd like, because maybe you want to insert an image on it or use some of these as I mentioned before. So when I click on the button to convert to HTML, I find my existing letter. And let's go down, and as I said, this is a bunch of test data, so it's test stuff. And let's choose the cross marketing. So now it's going to appear for me, and it already tells me the letter has been successfully created to HTML format. Please review the letter for final adjustments. So I can look through the letter, make sure it's okay. And here, if I was to click HTML, it's now in that format. I'm going to go back to Edit. And let's go ahead and I'm going to click on Save. It comes up and says spelling errors do exist. Would you like to correct them? Now I open an existing template, which means that some type of spelling error existed and I ignored it previously. So let's go ahead and click Yes and see what we see. So down here at the bottom, somebody had actually purposely, probably is testing, put in words that were misspelled. And so now we go ahead and spell check. So as you see, as I mentioned previously, it does spell check upon saving. So I can ignore it, I can just cancel out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit ignore all. It ignores it and I can go ahead and save it again. I'm just going to hit cancel here. I want to open up the template that I just had open that was from the QQEvolution gallery that I inserted that picture of the winter scene on. What I'm going to do is open that up because I had told you that I would show you how to insert the social media icons. So now here we go. And right down here at the bottom where we had already put in insert, Facebook link here, I'm going to go ahead and delete that and leave my cursor there, and I'm going to click on Insert Image. And it's going to go ahead and open up my saved image boxes, which we had already given you some of the most common social media icons. And so it is saved over here. So I can go ahead and grab it, insert on image, and now here's my icon. Now the hyperlink I had put with it was to put behind it was just to facebook.com. So if a person was to link to this, it would take you to that website. And you can insert these social media icons. If we don't have a social media icon and you would like to put in your own, you are more than welcome to. You do the same, follow the same process as you do to insert an image. You go ahead and you have that image, you upload the new image, and then when you're having it displayed here, down here where it has hyperlink, let me click on edit so you can see that section. Right here, this is in edit mode. If it's when an image is uploaded, it will display down here. You can go ahead and type in the link to that social media icon and go ahead and insert it on any letters you would like. I'd also like to mention, since you can see here the Facebook had been tested a lot, so you see there's some that has like a number 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 behind them. What this is for is when you're uploading and attaching images in here, if you try to attach an image that has the exact same name as an image you've previously saved, we aren't going to stop it. We will allow you to attach it in here, but the system will automatically assign it to a number. It will start with number 1 and going up. The reason that these here jump is because somebody has deleted the unused ones that were here. So the system will automatically number the different images if you're trying to save them underneath the exact same name. I think I'll also go ahead and I'm going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to go up top and click in where you would most commonly, more than likely, put your agency's logo. You can always manually type your information in if you like, but let's go ahead and I want to insert the logo into here so that you can actually see what it looks like up at top. I'm going to go ahead and insert the QQEvolution logo. I'm pretty sure I have it saved in here someplace. Let's take a look. And let's see here. There it is. So here's the QQEvolution logo. I had already selected where I wanted it inserted. Click on Insert Image, and there you go. Now my image has been inserted. It fits the size as that I had saved it. It fits it right in there beautifully. One thing I need to mention here is in our current word processor, the Rtf, that is still exists and you can still use, in the utilities, so I'm going to leave the dashboard here. In the utilities, you have the ability to set up the letter templates to default the agency's information as well as the client's information and that day's date. This is not available in the HTML version of the word processor. It still works for the Rtf version, our current version, but for the HTML, this will not work. So down here for letter defaults, it will not work. Okay, so when you're creating templates in HTML, you got to make sure that you insert your own logo on it. And as well as you would insert the symbols for, say, your agent's information if you like that, and today's date. In order to do that, as you know, already know how, when you create letters, you use symbols, so you can insert the symbols. So I can go ahead and if I was doing my client's information, I could grab the client's name, phone numbers, address, all that. You'll also notice in the HTML editor only, we have added Rolodex carrier info. So now any carriers that you have entered in our Rolodex, you can pull the information onto a template. So then you can be addressing these letters to an actual carrier when you print them through the Rolodex. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go over to the Rolodex and open it up here and show you where you can print the letters from. So here's our open Rolodex, and again, test database. When I click on print and I choose print a letter, it will open up all my letter templates, okay, every one of them, the HTML and the Rtfs. So if I select an HTML for a particular carrier and I had inserted those symbols, when I select that template and hit OK, that carrier's information that's included in that symbol will appear wherever you had put it on the letter. Okay, so as you see, you can print HTML letters from the Rolodex as well. Now while I'm here on the dashboard, I'm going to go ahead and go to the mailroom. This new advanced option does affect the mailroom. When you're going into it, if the letter you want to go ahead and print or email is from the Rtf word processor, you choose that. If you're going to be using a letter that was created in the new advanced HTML editor, you select that. So this is still going to be the same as it is right now if you choose the Rtf. And let's go ahead and choose HTML. Difference here is down at the bottom where I have letter selection, it's only going to show me the HTML letters and that's it. It's not going to show me the other letters. All right, so one other change that's here is let's go ahead and print a letter. And let's put in some dates here. Let's say 20th to 12. I'm going to click on print letters and it's going to take you to my nice new viewer for HTML here, and it tells you it's generating 15 letters and what the count is. Now down here at the bottom is where you can page through the letters. In the HTML only, when you choose to go through these letters, it does it per letter instead of per page. So if you have a 3-page letter per client, it goes from letter to letter. Whereas when you come in here and you're using an RTF letter, it will do it page by page by page. So you'd be able to see each page of that three-page letter for every client. All right, so I'm not actually going to print these. I'm going to click return, and right here it tells us letters not printed. Do you want to save them for later? If I don't, I can click on no, as you all know. All right, so here in the queue I have 162 letters waiting. Currently, if I was to go ahead and print letters again and choose to print, it would grab the letters out of the queue and print them. With the HTML editor, you actually have to use the print unprinted letters for these letters to purposely be grabbed and printed. And let's go ahead and come out of the dashboard. So as you've seen, and you will discover for yourself, using this new advanced option for HTML has a lot of neat things in it that you can use, especially inserting images. And there again, maybe you would like to put your signature on a letter. In this template, you would be able to do it if you had an image of your signature, which if you are already putting signatures on Accord forms, you had attached it in the utilities, you could just go grab that wherever it's saved on your computer and insert it in here and see if that works. And you might not even have to create a new image of a signature. Okay, so you could insert images of signatures. Okay, and again, you have a lot of neat options that you have here. Just hover over top of each one of them and it will tell you what they are. As you see, you can do absolute positioning. You can go ahead and it will do, insert columns before or after, or delete cells, or you can go ahead and delete a row, and also columns. You can insert one. The list just goes on and on. You can also, one of the things you should do is create a page break. So when you're creating your letter and when you want it to be the end of page 1, or you've already typed the length of a piece of paper, you insert your page break so that when the letter template is actually printing on a client, it knows when to go ahead to page 2 purposely. Instead of just going ahead and typing a whole letter out that ends up being 2 pages and the system then breaks it into the second page itself. You can make it break at a certain place if you would like. All right, you can insert the time and date, and here's where you can go ahead and insert hyperlinks. I didn't put in the text yet, so it's telling me, do that. So we can put in hyperlinks, and let's go ahead and type in a hyperlink. So we're going to select create blank document, and let's do www.QQEvolution.com. And you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Let's go ahead and see. Pops me right over there. So when you insert that hyperlink in a template, it will as well appear on the letter when you generate it on the customer itself, and then they'll be able to use the hyperlink themselves. And let's go ahead and close that. So again, a lot of neat things that you can do here with this HTML editor. Images being a big one, inserting social media and so forth. You can also put in letters that are actually in the HTML format and convert them over to a readable letter. And you can also convert, your existing RTF templates, or maybe you have an existing letter on your computer that you created and you've been meaning to get in the system and you just haven't yet. You could copy and paste that into here and convert it to HTML, so then that you could then insert images and do the page breaks and everything on it. I do need to point out when it comes to symbols, and this is important, is we made improvements while you're doing letters on the clients themselves. I'm going to go ahead and open up one of our RTF letters here under Convert RTF to HTML. I'll just go ahead and use cross marking since you've seen that already. Now, when you're on the client itself and in preview mode, if you've inserted one of 2 symbols on the letter, you will have the ability, while on the client itself with the letter, you have the ability to do things like spell check, the bolding, the italics, and so forth, right there in the client's area. Okay, but one of these 2 symbols has to be inserted on the template in order for these options to appear. If you do not insert one of these symbols, it will not appear, these options. It will appear, the letter will appear as it normally does. So the symbols that we're talking about are preview and type info here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to General, just to narrow my symbols down. And here is preview and type info here. Now, as you already know, inserting the symbol preview anywhere in the letter will allow you to, when you go into the client, open a letter. If that letter has preview in it, it won't appear, the symbol won't actually appear, but it will let you edit any of the text in the letter itself. Okay? Type info here does the same thing, but the difference is with type info here, it's like a placeholder inside of a letter for where you want the information to actually go. So if I inserted type info here, and I'm going to insert it right here by double clicking on it, when I generated this template on a client, this sentence would come up appearing like this. We type info here. The other symbols, as you know, would not appear. That information would. And what I do is click where this symbol is and type in my information. So it's a placeholder for information. Okay? So as long as I have it, type info here or preview inserted on one of my letter templates, it will allow me to do some more editing, such as spell check, which is very important to a lot of people. It will allow me to do that while I'm actually in the letter on the client. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and take out type info here. And you know what I'm going to do? Preview. You can insert it wherever you want because it doesn't appear. So I'm going to insert that on the letter. And my advice to you is use the symbols based on how I just described them. If you don't need a placeholder, just insert preview. But if you do need a placeholder, that you have a specific place you want to put information, use the type info here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resave this as a different template. I don't want to do spell check. And let's go ahead and I'm going to type in video test 2 and hit OK. Now this has just saved in HTML format because I converted and I wanted to do that. So now I'm going to go back out to the dashboard and I'm going to open up my actual RTF and I'm going to open up the same cross-marketing letter and do the same thing with it. I'm going to go ahead and you know what, actually for this one, so that you can see the difference, I'll put in type info here and I'm just going to put it down here. So I'll insert it. And I'm going to go ahead and save this as well. See, spell check again in the regular word processor. And we're going to do test video instead of video test. Test video, and I'll just put a 3 just in case behind there, and hit OK. So now this template has been saved. So let's go ahead and go out to the dashboard, and let's head over to an actual client's record. So here on this client, the last place it opened right up to letters because that's where I was last time I was on this client. And I'm going to go actually to the client screen. As you know, there's numerous places inside this system that you up on the toolbar have the ability to select printing letters. The search screen, the clients, they all have it. Of course, letters have it. So there's different places you can do it from. So let's do print letters. And as you see, the HTML and RTF letters are all together here. So first, let's go ahead and cover our normal one, RTF. So let's go ahead and go down and grab it. Here we go. We're going to select it and hit OK. And now it's opened up in preview mode. Okay, you know this is preview mode because it opens up in another box like this. If you aren't in preview mode, you definitely know because it opens up as a letter normally does. It takes you to another screen, and all you see on the screen is that full page letter. And you see right here my symbol, type info is here, and I just can go ahead and click here and take this out, and I can add in whatever text I wanted, and I can edit any other part of this letter. But you see we now have the basic editing options of the bold, italics, you know, some fonts, some font sizes, you know, we have the spell check, the copy and paste as well here. So we've added some options here. A biggie most likely to you would be the spell check. So you can go ahead and spell check your letters right then and there. And you see it runs through and spell checks it for you, and it came up with it. That's what you're seeing when it flashed like that. That was actually the system spell checking. So there's nothing wrong with it while it flashes. It's just spell checking. And I can go ahead and hit print and go ahead and I can print the letter out. Again, it's spell checked automatically at the end. Runs through it. So I just wanted you to see that again. So nothing's wrong with it. It's just spell checking. Now it goes to the print screen, and this, if I did not have it in preview mode, this is what I meant about the letter opens up as normal like this. And so then from here I can print and go ahead and print the letter. So that is an improvement we've made to our existing RTF letters that you use with our regular basic word editor. So now let's go ahead and let's open up an HTML letter. And we had the one that we created as a test. So let's go down to Video Test 2. This was that same template that I had for the RTF, only I inserted the symbol preview. And there you go. As you notice, the letter itself, I'll move this over here to the right, the letter itself opens up in a different way than the RTF would. Okay, it opens up in the preview for the HTML. It has to be displayed differently. And here we are in the preview mode. As you notice, not as many buttons down here, not, skip to next type info here or anything. It's not here because I used the preview symbol. You notice I'd put it up here at top. It's not there, but I have my options. I even have more because this is the HTML. Here we have all kinds of, different things that we can do, all the different kinds of fonts, the different sizes. We have the underlining, colors, time, date, spell check over here. We have the justifying. We have, all this stuff here that you can do to an HTML letter once you open it up on the client itself. So there's been a lot of changes here when it pertains just to the HTML. These are great improvements that clients are really going to benefit from. There is several more things that I would like to show you. This also affects the fax. You can create email and fax cover letters. They can be in the RTF or HTML format. But the fax one itself, and I'm going to go ahead and let's say on forms, I'm going to go up top and click on Print Email Fax. I'm going to go ahead and select Fax. And I'm not actually going to fax because I don't have that hooked up here, so I'm just going to put in a little fake number here. I'm going to go to the tab with letters, and I'm going to choose one of the HTML letters. Now when I click on Fax, it's going to go ahead and open up my editor if I'm choosing to do a fax cover letter. So I can go ahead and I can type in anything I need here, and I also have my different options with the spell check. You notice these things are blank because I did not choose to do a fax cover letter. And down at the bottom I can choose to fax with the letter or fax without the cover letter. So the new editing tools that display while you're on a client do apply to fax as well. They do not at this time apply to emailing. Okay, they do not at this time apply to emailing. In the future we will have it apply, but right now we do not. So the editing options do apply to faxing. So we're going to go ahead and get out of this because I'm not actually going to fax anything. This concludes the training session on the new and improved word processor, QuickWord. We made improvements, as you see, to the actual Rtf editor, the existing way that you have now currently to do letters. We've made improvements to it within QuickWord itself, as well as while you're doing it on a client in the preview mode. You also have some editing options. And we've added the advanced option of the HTML editor for you to use to make HTML templates that you have a lot of different editing options with, and you can insert images. Again, these new options are available in QQEvolution version 1.6.0 and greater. Thank you.